Like if I chop down 1,000,000 trees, I should get a freaking golden axe skin. Like what is going on? I don't get a skin for chopping down 1,000,000 trees? Come on. What's going on, Ronin? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm asking the question, is it too late to save New World? Well, let's go over to some of the things that I have issues with that I feel is causing the population to kind of dwindle down and disappear, and what we can do to fix those issues, or what they can do to fix the issues, because I'm not programming the game. And you can let me know what you think in the comments, and hopefully, somebody from the team also sees this and maybe they can run that back to their team and make some stuff happen. So I'm going to start off with a real small issue that we've all had from the beginning of the game, and that's when you're a new player and you just kind of wake up on a shore somewhere around the continent randomly. It's kind of hard to really group up with your friends that way if you're coming in with a group of people new, or if you're trying to link up with somebody that's already in the game. It's a little bit easier. If that can be streamlined a little bit, or made to where you can actually pick which area you start in, that would be better. I'm thinking like a branching path at some point in time. This kind of ties into the main story of the game. The main story doesn't make sense. Now, in the public test, when we gave our feedback, one of the things that people wanted was a main story. With the quickness, New World put in a main story. It was so quick, and we can see what the issue is with it being quick, as in it doesn't fit along with the rest of the story. So, for example, when you meet Giannis, the hermit, you're talking to him, he's the last soul warden. Through this story, you are becoming a soul warden, so you can help fight the fight that the end of the soul wardens didn't have. Well, what happens when you stop the story and you don't go as far? If you stop the story and you continue leveling and you get into Great Cleave, you'll start to see other soul wardens there. Now, how is this a problem? You skip the story. You're not supposed to be there anyway unless you're in the story. Well, if you're going through the story, at certain points in time, you talk to certain people, they appear in certain places, and after you talk to them, they're not there anymore and they're in a different place. This would be the way it would work if these other soul wardens shouldn't be here at the time. They shouldn't be there until you reach that part of the story. These soul wardens were already there before the story started, and they give you the same quest before they added the story in. So that is an issue with the story. Another issue is that the story ties into these excavations. Now, the story shouldn't tie into the dungeons, because you are the soul hero, the soul warden, that's supposed to be reviving the group and saving the island. So you should have to handle a lot of these issues by yourself, instead of trying to find a group of people to go into these dungeons with and do it that way, especially when it comes to fighting Captain Thorpe, which was not that big of an issue in the original. Like, we knew we had to fight him at some point in time, but the way it plays in the story is so weird. Like, we're on the island, he get knocked out, he dies, or we think he does, but because his island you revive, he came back as like a larger corrupted person that we fight toward the end of the island. And in the original, in the public test, we had this box that we had that was his, that had the exhaust staff in it, and that was one of the things he was kind of coming after, was this box. And in the new storyline, we don't have this box. We have no idea why we're mad at each other. We're just mad at each other. We're just mad. I'm mad at Captain Thorpe for some reason. Like, he's mad at me because corruption is based off of anger, so that makes sense. And I just want to kill Captain Thorpe. Like, I'm gonna get him. I kind of went on a rant on the story mode. There's a lot there. Just feels like an afterthought. From there, though, if we go into Endgame, when we're looking at the public test build, we had something called the arenas. Now, the arenas were kind of like giant one bosses that you needed a special key to get into. This is something we don't hear anybody calling for anymore. I don't even know if they're still in the game, to be honest with you. I feel like they should have been in the game. Like, those were some pretty big things that you could do. Like, it should be like a raid type boss, right? Arenas. You go in there, you get your group of people together, you fight your raid boss with the key that you could sell in the market board. Something you can't do anymore. You can't sell dungeon keys or arena keys, expedition keys on the market board, which is a missed opportunity for players and for the game. Another way players can stay in the game is to farm up materials and craft those to sell to those that would want to do dungeons, even though expeditions shouldn't require a key to begin with. As far as talking about expeditions as well, they shouldn't be tied to a story. There's this weird mixture between sandbox and theme park going on in New World, and I feel like it should be more towards the sand park way that they had originally originally intended for the game and move back away of this holding hands of everybody walking through the game. So I say this because how cool would it be for the community to find these dungeons that are in the game, find these expedition areas, not have giant quest markers there or a giant marker on the map that's already telling you it's an expedition, but you come across it, and once the first person that finds it, it puts it on the map for everybody else or something like that. Like, and they get a title that's like expedition, they find so many expeditions or something. I don't know, something for finding it. It would be kind of cool. It would be very community driven. People would be out there looking for these expeditions. You'd have some guys, hey, where is this expedition? How do you get there? What do you need to unlock the door to the expedition? That's where the keys would come in. That's what, if you make the keys sellable, people can sell those keys on the trading board, and you would have a nice flowing community, a nice flowing economy of people telling where the information is and selling the keys. Or it'd be great. It would be good stuff. There were also these bags, these journeyman bags that allows you to hold more stuff. Porter bags. They're not in the game either anymore. Where are those at? Bouncing off of that, I want to talk about these voice acting lines. So when we talk to an NPC, there's like one line of dialogue that's voiced and then the rest isn't, which is kind of weird. It kind of is really jarring when you sit there and they're like, hello, how are you doing? I was going to talk to you about this and that, but then I stopped. And you're like, you got more to say here. Why aren't you saying the rest? It does this in Lost Ark 2, and I'm wondering if this is something that Amazon is trying to like make a thing, and I just want them to not do that, because it's bad. Either have them say the whole paragraph or the whole voice lines, or don't have the voice lines in there. It makes no sense just to have one sentence, one line of a voice line, and then the rest is the paragraph. Say greetings and leave it at that. That would make more sense than having a line of voice text. From that point on, keeping people in the game. Let's go about keeping people in the game. No voice lines is something minor and small that doesn't require people to be in the game for that to happen. Let's talk about something that's going to keep people playing the game, keep the servers full, maintain, give people something to do beyond just fighting each other. This is going to be minions, collectibles, and in-game earnables, things of that nature. One of the things I was concerned about with them having a store in the game is that there would not be anything in the game to gather for yourself that's cosmetic, or for your house, or anything of that nature. And so far I have been right. This is the thing that kills games. If you look at like Anthem, we look at Avengers, these cosmetics were purely in the store. These games are live service games, and if they don't have loot that they can visually see to grind that is actually fun and exciting and different from what we already have, then it's not going to last very long as far as the player base goes. So we had Anthem, right? Anthem, people are flying around. They're like, oh, we find this new armor, we find this new loot. All it is like weapons and stuff we can't see. To buy new armor, we had to actually buy new armor sets to actually put new armor on. It's another step that's stupid. We should be able to find that in the game. Give us something to be out in the world searching for or grinding for in that aspect. The same thing with Avengers. We're finding Hulk's rib cages and symbols that go on chest, and then we have to buy the outfits. We should just be able to find those outfits, or the outfits should be interchangeable as we progress our character. We can see the outfits go through different stories. This is one of the things that works well in Outriders, and it works in, what's the other game? Guardians of the Galaxy. These both are single player games, by the way. Outriders, people still kept playing the multiplayer mode, getting their gear up, finding this legendary equipment because it actually had a cool appearance. And then it had the transmog system where you can put that gear onto yourself if you like the way the gear looked, and they have a new update coming out with more stuff soon. And then Guardians of the Galaxy has all these hidden passes where you can find different outfits. Even Spider-Man is like that. Something that keeps the players in the game and engaged with some extra content if they choose to do it. Collectibles. Let's go to MMOs, because I'm talking about other games. MMOs, Final Fantasy, Warcraft, Lost Ark, 3 big MMOs, Elder Scrolls, another one. All these games have something that you can do aside from the combat. Now we can look at them and say, well, they're more theme park based. Well, let's go ahead and jump over to Albion Online with this sprawling tree. That also allows you to earn different things in game. It has mounts. That's a big thing, and you can get those mounts in game. It has a husbandry system, so you can actually make mounts, sell mounts, all that cool stuff that you can do and collect and make unique for yourself. Something that you cannot do in New World because it is all pushed into the store. Now we can say, look at the winter theme that we had. We had a winter event. One of the things I actually asked New World when it was coming out, they had a questions and answer section, and I was like, will there be events? And they were like, they don't have any planned as of yet, but it's something they're gonna put in. So when Halloween came around, they didn't have a Halloween event. You can buy everything in the store. When Christmas came around, hey, they had a Christmas event. It was weird, but it was an event, and you can earn things in game. It was pretty fun. Had a lot of people playing the game, getting stuff. Come February, Valentine's event, nothing. We've got to go into the store again. So this is an issue. The events keep people playing your game. Like this is why I asked the question. Events keep the world alive. People will go in, even if it's something they don't use. I have a bunch of stuff from Halo Infinite just to do the events. I may not even put it on, like these colors and stuff, but it's fun to go after these challenges and do that. And we don't have that in New World. The same thing goes with the achievements. Now the achievements give you titles. The titles are kind of pointless. They don't do anything. And there is a problem with how the achievements appear on screen. It's not exciting. Why would I want to farm these achievements out if I'm not getting that boost of like, hey, I did something great? It's just like a little pop-up on the screen, and it tells me when something is almost complete, which is just more space taking up the screen. The achievements should just really pop if I completed something, and if I want to track it, it should pop up on the screen when I'm close to it. So it should have a nice toast pop up. We look at achievements and a lot of things like, you know, the trophies in PlayStation or the Xbox achievements, or the achievements in Warcraft where it has the whole flashy thing pop up and it makes a chime sound. Psychologically, the chime sound and the visuals together make you want to hunt more achievements. And this is why they have these things in casinos where you have these specific noises being made and the chime sounds of the money going up when you hit a jackpot, because it does something psychologically to people to make them want to chase that, to go for it and get it again. And that's what achievements do. That's part of what achievements do with just the sound. Just getting the sign to pop up on the screen for stuff that you're gonna do when you play the game anyway, is like, I'm looking at the achievements personally to do stuff in the game, but they don't give you anything. Like a cool axe skin, like if I chop down 1,000,000 trees, I should get a freaking golden axe skin. Like, what is going on? I don't get a skin for chopping down 1,000,000 trees? Come on. That should be part of the achievements. It should be something I unlocked, but I have to buy a golden tool axe skin. No, something. Just fun weapons in the game that I can find or make that are pointless. A squeaky hammer for the war hammers. People can run around with crazy looking squeaky hammers, giant looking squeaky hammers. It's something wild and fun and crazy for people to collect and find and do in the game. Another thing that is big in the game here is the game plays it safe. There's no variety of enemies, no variety of like creatures. Or what I'm saying here is there's a quest that has you and go and fight a werewolf, right? It's just a giant wolf that looks like all the other wolves. It's not even that big. It's like a little bit bigger than the other wolves, and it like just attacks you. But if we look at a lot of werewolves in some of the other thematic movies that talk about werewolves or video games, the werewolves are standing on two legs. They got like their pants cut off. Maybe they can talk, maybe they can't talk. They have special moves that are werewolfy moves. That's cool. That's something that can happen in New World. You know, back in the day, they would talk up a creature and say it as a tall tale, like, oh, who used to be a man, but now he's a wolf. And then you go see it and it's just like a regular wolf, and you're like, oh, that used to be a man, like Benji, or the man that turned into a dog, the shaggy dog. That's what I'm thinking of, the shaggy dog. This should be more fantastical. We're in a world with zombies and zombie witches and zombie pirates and puke throwing zombies and these weird abomination things that spit sound at you, and like corrupted bears and corrupted deer and corrupted tigers. And people that can summon invisible dragons. We can't get like a legit werewolf. We even had a giant turkey and yetis. We got yetis and we can't get a werewolf. What is going on here? Can't get like a legit looking werewolf. They're playing it too safe with some of these enemies. They need to actually go wild, let their imagination run wild past just giant version of regular mob. Make it something cool. That's another thing we had with the issues in these expeditions, is that when we're fighting the bosses, we're just fighting like giant the same versions, maybe slightly bigger, of the bosses that are already out in the actual world. And we fought, like, how did Simon become one of the giant golem dudes? Wasn't he just like a regular dude when he went in, and all of a sudden now he has the giant, like, reverse bear trap on his head? It's weird. He could have been a lot cooler. It could have been better. You could have still had all these different mechanics come in and just had this one animation for this one boss that you play. Not one animation, but like this, you know, you just needed to use that model for the one boss, and it would have been cool. I read Renee's books. She talks about these different things out in the world. This wolf in the Great Cleave that is supposed to be like a frost wolf. I was so excited. I thought it was gonna be like this giant wolf, like this white wolf. I go out there, I find the wolf, it's in the cave, got like 30 other wolves around it. You can barely attack it because they're all like just jumping at you crazy. And it's like this little tiny wolf, and you're like, this is the giant wolf that she was talking about that's freezing people, and it's seeing half frozen bodies laying in the ground and frozen footprints, and it's just this regular wolf with like ice going around it. There's a letter that you read talking about a fish in the lake that glows, and I'm gonna catch it one day. It's like a huge fish, and then you look it up and it's like this little bitty fish that you can catch. Like, what is it? Should be like an amazing, like you need more than one person catching this fish. Should be one of those type of fish. So that's something that I feel I slipped on. And it's all the stuff that it can change and make better in the future, because there's still a whole continent that we can explore. It's not too late to stop what they have here and expand upon that based upon things that I've said. Find collectibles and these new zones. You have collectibles, you got crazier looking creatures, you got, you know, we're not being told what's out there. We have to actually go out there and explore and find it. These are things that can be done, that we can find. Like, somebody goes out there and finds the portal before it's on the map, or before we have to find the map. Before we find the portal, we can see the light shining in the sky. So before we see the portal on the map, we should find the light shining in the sky to know that a portal is over there, and then go to the portal, and then that portal appears on the map. That should be how it is. There's too much hand-holding going on in this game. I think that New World can be saved. In the ending, this video is going kind of long. It's almost 20 minutes. I think that New World can be saved. I think that a game like an MMO that's new and fresh with new ideas takes like a year before it can really find its footing. I think within that year, as it gets to the end of the year, they start to find out what they need to go. They're in a good pace, and New World needs to give themselves a chance to get there. Once it gets there, player bases do return to games. Once people see that the game is on a positive road, that things are looking a lot smoother, a lot better, they've made a lot of great changes into the game, there's more weapon variety, the game will get its population back and will be better. But before that happens, all of this stuff needs to change. And you don't even have to rework the whole game. You just have to build on top of what you already have, making some tweaks to how some things work, like the achievements. You can change, you make how that works. You can add in game stuff. The event, the winter event where the shower came down and exploded, the meteor came down and exploded all over the place, was amazing. That was an amazing event. I loved seeing that every time it happened. Wiping out trees, going mining all the little gleamite was amazing. You can do more stuff like that. More events that just happen in the world naturally, instead of it being specially just for an event, and instead of it just being portals that appear up all over the world that nobody does anymore. You need to make some cool things happen, and the game can be saved. That's all I gotta say, guys. It was a long video. I'm sorry. I know I rambled at some points in time, but it's just kind of annoying seeing the stuff in the game, reading these letters, and then comparing it to what I actually have, what I'm actually seeing. It doesn't add up, and it needs to add up. And somewhere along the line, there's a miscommunication where these things need to talk to each other and get together and make some magic happen, because the world should be a magical island where we have no idea what's going on here, aside from reading the works, talking to people who have done the quest, and then letting the community share that information. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you've made it this far, I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.